guys, what's going on? Chris Cook in Nashville here. Hanging out with me in my studio here for a minute. I think I've only done like one other video probably where I was in here. And come to think of it, I was probably wearing the same shirt. When I'm not dressed in the security uniform that you guys are used to seeing me in, it's usually camo or something red, white, and blue, or something else very country and redneck is probably what I am wearing. I'm a musician. The reason Nashville is a thing, the reason I'm Chris Cooking Nashville, is because along with cooking and doing carnivore and my wife doing keto and all that kind of stuff, my wife and I are professional musicians as well. And I'm a professional guitar player and do studio work, and we play. She's an artist. I'm a guitar artist. I play lead guitar and do band leader stuff for her as well. And so, we as best we can tour and play shows and perform, and we write songs, and we do all the various musician things that go along with all that. So I thought it'd be kind of cool just to have you guys come hang out with me in my studio for a few minutes today. Just kind of sitting here going through some guitar stuff and practicing a little bit. And as I was doing that, I was thinking about, I really wanted to make a video and share just a few thoughts that I had. I watched the presentation that was posted of Dr. Barry at KetoCon, and which is a fantastic presentation, by the way. The fact that he didn't even have his slides that he intended to and can put on that good of a presentation, it just goes to show how much that man knows what he's talking about, and the level of research and study that he has done into all of this. And before I go on any further, I have to say, he and Nisha live, somewhere sort of down the road in Tennessee from us here in Nashville. And I really just hope at some point in time I get a chance to speak with him and or shake his hand and thank him in a more face-to-face version, not just via social media, but just to be able to look him in the eye and tell him how much I appreciate the work that he has done and the information that he puts out there. I have no idea where I would be at this point if I had not found his information and started studying it, and if he hadn't been putting out all the videos that he has. I would say probably 95% of what I know about Keto and Carnivore has come from him, or potentially the guests that he has interviewed, and just constant study of his videos and his information. And I would not be the person that I am right now without the information that he has put out there and the service that he does to people in the keto and carnivore communities. And I don't think that there is enough thanks to be able to put into words the kind of appreciation that I think any of us should have for someone like that. And Dr. Barry, if you happen to see this, I know we've sent just a message or two back and forth via social media various times, but if you're actually watching this, if this makes it all the way to you, I just appreciate the hell out of you. I can't tell you how much what you do has made an impact on me and just changed what I'm able to do. So thank you for that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I watched that presentation. It was a brilliant presentation. It's all honestly information I've heard before from him, because it's, in a presentation like that, you're kind of hitting the broad spectrum swipe of this information. But, sometimes you see the passion and you see the intensity with which someone discusses a subject like this, and it just gets you to thinking and really helps you understand where you're at and where you're coming from. And in the interest of transparency, which is, an important thing here on my channel, I wanted to do this video and try to help you guys see a little bit of my passion and my intensity of this kind of stuff. Like, why does this matter so much to me? And so I'm going to put a little picture on the screen here. You may have seen my other video where I put this up. You may not have. That is me at somewhere around 385 pounds. And I don't really recognize that person. It's hard to look at that picture because I know for a fact I was at least 385 at one point. I'm pretty sure I was bigger than that at some point, though I don't know, because there was a certain point, and I've heard other people say this who also were very large and started doing this. There was a point I just didn't ever want to get on a scale. I didn't want to know what the number was. I knew it wasn't going to be good, and it didn't matter what the number was. It was just all the numbers in the general range where it could even possibly be. They were just all bad. And being at a healthy weight seemed so far away and so unachievable, and it just, you go into a denial about it, and I was. I either didn't think about it, or if I did think about it, it just made me hate myself. And that was a really difficult place to be. I use food and the carb addiction specifically of food as a self-medication technique when emotionally I'm struggling, and there's a lot of reasons behind that, from various things, like good memories of the past and trying to achieve that again by eating certain things I associate with that, and just all kinds of various things psychologically that I think, each of us has to work out for ourselves, like why do we go to certain places and what are our patterns and how do we establish those. But I had all of that going on, and I struggled to figure out what I was supposed to do about this. And I put on a good front, right? I kept a strong face in front of people. I would be the first person in the room to start making the fat jokes about myself, because if you make the joke about yourself, it puts everyone else at ease. And then on my perspective of it was almost like if I make the joke, then it gets it out of the way, and there's less chance that someone else is going to say something, because if somebody else says it and recognizes it and points it out, it makes you feel so terrible. There were some times where there were some comments on social media when I worked in higher education, and students were unhappy about decisions that I would make, and it would get back to me, things that they had posted and stuff, and sometimes it was about my weight. We live in a society right now that puts so much value on the way you look. And I agree that being overweight is not good, but the reason that it is not good is not because you don't look good enough to meet with someone else's approval, or somehow because you're overweight, your value is somehow less than other people. That's all a bunch of bull. And that is just so much of what is pushed. And I felt that really hardcore. I tried to hold myself up to a standard I had no idea how I would ever meet, because everything that I tried was either like so far outside of the realm of anything that I could imagine doing, or just didn't seem to work, or whatever. And I didn't realize at the time, but I was dealing with a lot more than just this stuff. I mean, there was sort of depression, anxiety type stuff going on because of eating veggies. That's why I'm a carnivore. That's another story, a longer story for another day. I actually have a health vlog where I talked about that a little bit previously, but I'll go into more detail for that if anybody would like me to in a future video. But I was dealing with this like depression and anxiety and irritability and things that it's like I can't explain why my brain does that. It's inflammation in the brain, I guess, but that's just where I was. That was what was happening. And you couple that with the struggle and all of the misinformation we're given by food and big pharma and doctors and all this stuff, and it's like you're at the bottom of a big black hole trying to figure how to climb your way out, and you constantly have 1,000 things around you of all different opinions just pushing you back down. And that's where I was. And I watched that presentation that Dr. Berry did, and he was talking about how it's your right, your birthright to have a proper human diet. And I thought, man, if the whole world treated diet and access to good information about it, and not all of the twisted stuff of studies that are funded by big corporations or funded by drug companies or funded by anything else, actual information that was clear and objective, and if that was actually put out there for the world to see, and it was viewed as this is our human God-given right to know this information and to be able to then make our choice for our own life from there, how different would this world be, and how different would the health of all of us, our neighbors and our friends and our family and ourselves, how different would that be? So I realized that, the reason Dr. Berry does what he does and does it so passionately is because he believes in this stuff, and so do so many others like him. And I am one of them now. I'm included in that. And I realize the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because I'm trying to put out information that changes things for people. I can only affect so many people. And, I work on all of these recipes because I love cooking, and, I'm trying to take the skills that I have and the experience that I have and put it towards something that's going to impact people better. At the beginning of the year, my wife and I sat down and we came up with kind of goals for the new year back in, the end of December, right before beginning of January. And one of them was, I said, I want to start a cooking channel on YouTube. And, at this point, I was not eating carnivore. I was just kind of eating standard American diet stuff again, and was planning on going back to carnivore again. But, I didn't really have a specific timeline. And I just wanted to start a cooking channel because I just thought it would be cool to share my recipes, because so many people have told me, like, you should have been a chef, or, you should go to culinary school, or any of this kind of stuff. And I don't want to do any of that because that's making it work. But, I have these skills from just all of these years of cooking and knowing what good food is like. And now that I've gotten back into doing the carnivore thing, and I realize I'm seeing it from the perspective I'm finally seeing it from, and understanding really what this means for me and my health, I'm trying to use that to help other people, because the only reason that I know what I know is because of people like Dr. Berry, who are passionate and are sharing everything that they can. So I'm just trying to share everything that I can. And it's not easy, and it takes a lot of time, and unfortunately resources. I've had some people comment on the audio in a couple of my videos, and I know it's not perfect, and I'm trying to come up with solutions for that. But again, I work a day job and I'm a professional musician. My wife and I don't just have extra money to just throw out the door, and so I do the best that I can, and I try to buy the best food that I can, and we try to use the best equipment that we can. But it's this is it's a difficult economy to do things in right now. And so I'm just doing the best that I can with what I have. And that's why I appreciate you guys watching and being here so much, because this is for you. There's nothing coming my way that somehow makes this, a thing for me. This is all about bearing my soul so that maybe someone out there is impacted by it positively, because that's what happened for me. People who shared their stories made a difference for me. In fact, one of them, Carnivorous Me, Amanda, I saw a couple of videos of hers, but one in particular that I remember really stuck out. She put on a shirt that was, I think it was like an extra large or something, and it was like the first time she had been able to wear something that size in a very long time. And she literally starts crying on video. And I was like, I remember watching that and being so struck. I'm an empath. I feel other people's pain, and other people's victory, and other people's sadness, and other people's joy, and whatever along with them. And I remember watching that video and stopping and thinking, man, that's exactly how I would feel if I put on an extra large. I haven't worn an extra large shirt in years. XX is the best that I can do, and that's if it's a tall shirt or it's cut loose. I saw what she was going through and how real and raw she was being, and I decided I needed to go ahead and start vlogging and doing my health journey on videos, and putting this out there for people, because it makes such a difference to see people like her. and to learn from people like Dr. Berry, and to see people championing this, Dr. Baker and Dr. Chafee and Laura Spath and Too Crazy Ketos, and all these people, and there's so many more. I'm not going to go and try to list through all of them because there's so many that I watch and that I learn from and I take inspiration from. And Anita at Ketogenic Woman was kind of the first one that I've reached out to sort of tell, like, hey, I'm doing this and here's food that I'm doing, and thought you might like some of this stuff. And she has been just fantastic and supportive of what I'm doing and encouraging, because doing the whole YouTube thing, like, it's tough, and there's a lot of work, and it's absolutely worth it. It's it's enjoyable, but it's not like just sitting down, recording something real quick and uploading it. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into it beyond that, and it's worth every moment, but it does take a commitment to do it consistently, especially when I'm, essentially already working 3 other jobs. I have my day job. I'm a professional musician that plays for my wife, and, all these different kinds of things. I also teach guitar lessons. And, we do all of this to, keep the bills paid and keep the health insurance and, all that stuff, just in case. Although we have probably less of a need for it now than we would have, but we're trying to do all the adult things and be responsible and pay off debt and just get in a good place in life. And it's just a struggle. And so I do this stuff because it's time and it's a commitment, but it matters to me, and it matters that something that I say may matter to one of you, may matter to all of you. Maybe my recipes make something more sustainable for you. Maybe they make a transition between standard American diet and keto and carnivore, whatever. Maybe they make it easier because you don't feel like you're giving up so much when you're first trying to change your habits and change your ways. And I'm trying to put this out there because I really just want to help. And I've always wanted to see the world be a better place, and I've always wanted to root for people and cheer people on as they're succeeding at things and stuff. But along the way, I want to teach how to do the things from at least my perspective that I do that help, and hopefully in teaching that it helps somebody else too. So that's why I do what I do. I'm working on some stuff. I've got a bunch of recipes, first of all, which I'm experimenting with and trying to put together. But I'm working on all of that, and I'm going to get those out for you guys as soon as I can. I'm also putting together some merch, as we say in the music business, and other entertainment type industries where they sell things, t-shirts, hats, cups, all that kind of stuff. I'm putting together some Chris Cooking Nashville merch, and I'm not trying to get rich or sell a bunch of people a whole bunch of stuff or anything. But I am creating it because, one, I have had a few people ask if there's anything like that, or had ideas like, oh, you said this phrase, that'd make a great t-shirt, that kind of thing. But also, I would like to be able to do more videos. I would like to be able to do better videos. I'd like to be able to have the gear to be able to do more and better quality stuff for you guys. And if I can get this to where eventually it kind of funds itself, it would be a lot easier for me to spend more time doing it, more time on recipe creation, more time on video creation, and then editing and the posting and talking back and forth, and do like maybe live videos and all this kind of stuff. And so, I'm putting some stuff out there in case any of you like find what I do to be helpful or, inspiring, or whatever your reasoning is. If you want to support, just kind of what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to give you guys a way to do that. Liking, commenting, sharing my videos, subscribing to my channel, having other people subscribe to my channel, that helps massively as well. Putting videos on social media and telling people about what I'm doing, sending my videos to your other favorite carnivore folks, because when you guys talk about what I'm doing, people like that find what it is I'm doing a lot easier, and then we get to work together and come up with cool stuff if they're interested in what I'm doing as well. Collaborators like that can really do a lot of stuff together, and so these are all ways you guys can really help support. But But I thought, it would be kind of a cool thing to put together a merch store for t-shirts and some different things, and just figured I would do that. And if you want to get something and send a little money towards the Chris Cooking Nashville channel so that I can do this, that's awesome. I appreciate that, and it does not go unnoticed, and every bit of it will be very much appreciated and used wisely to try to grow this and make it more beneficial. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to give up one way or the other. But things like that, just they help make it better. And if I could just purely do it myself, if I was independently wealthy and I could just buy all the gear and do all the things and just make this a full-time thing and just be this and a guitar player, that's what I would do. But we don't live in a world where that's an easy thing to do, and I just don't have those resources. So if you guys want to get involved and just sort of help support things, that's going to be available. I will actually go ahead and put a link to the merch store. I'm still working on creating stuff, but I'll go ahead and put a link to it here in the show notes of this video if you want to go buy a t-shirt or any of the other stuff that I have there. That's super cool. I appreciate every amount of support that you guys give, be it financial or clicking the like and the share button or subscribing and hitting the notification bell, any of that stuff that you guys do that helps so much. And I appreciate it very, very much when you support what I do, and makes me feel like what I'm doing is helpful and matters. So it makes it easier to continue doing it. So I showed you the picture of me at 385. This is a more recent picture of me, and I still have a long way to go, but man, it's so much better. And from the biggest that I know for a fact that I was to now, currently, it's almost 100 pounds difference. And there's no way to describe how much it means to be able to do things like sit down on the couch and put my foot up on my opposite knee, like cross my leg over and put it on the knee over here. One, without a massive amount of pain in this hip, but two, without having to like lean forward and exhale so I can get all the air out of my chest so I can reach my foot and then force it up onto my knee so that I can put on a sock or a shoe. Just to be able to pick it up and put it on my knee so that I can do that is amazing. Tightening my belt repeatedly, walking and not having severe pain. There's just so many non-scale victories that mean so much. And guys, if you haven't experienced this, if you're still thinking about trying, or maybe you're brand new to this or whatever, do it, stick with it, because those little things happen all along the way to encourage you. And I think something that's really important is you need to know your why. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and do this video. You have to know your why. Why are you doing this, and why are you going to stick with it when there's so many options all around you every day to fail at this? Why? Why do you do this? I'm going to tell you my why. I want to be a great guitar player and musician and all these kinds of things. And I've played guitar for over 20 years. And I've worked very hard to be able to do what I can do musically, and that's great. That's important to me. I want to be successful at the things that I do and be able to, live a successful life and all these kinds of things. That's all great. But what I really want more than anything is I want to be a great husband to my wife, who I love in ways that there are no words to ever express. I want to be, hopefully someday, if it is God's will, I would love to be a dad. And I want to be a really good one. I want to be a good dad like my dad. And I want to teach my kids and inspire my kids. And I want my kids to be able to look at me as an example, and for them to want to be, hopefully, like me. And I want to be able to do things like go places with my family and take my wife and my children places and play with my kids outside. And I want to live as long as possible and be with my wife and grow old together and raise a family and watch them have their own families. And I want people to know me as someone who inspires other people and who does good things for people around me and changes things around me for the better. And I want to be the kind of person that other people wish they could be more like. And the only way that I can do all of that is to be healthy and to be happy and to be focused on doing what I need to do to make myself healthy enough to be able to do those things. I can't play with my kids if I'm 385 pounds or more and stuck in a chair, or having to walk with a cane or a walker or something else because everything hurts so bad. And I'm not judging anyone who is like that. I was headed that direction because I didn't know any different. And it's a hard thing to get away from when you're stuck in that cycle. But I want to get out of that. I want to be something better. I want to be something different. And I want to be the kind of person that my wife is proud of, and that my kids are proud of, and that my parents are proud of, and the people who watch my channel are proud of, and that I want you guys to feel inspired, and I want you guys to be like, man, Chris seems like a really great guy who's doing a lot of hard stuff and working hard to inspire everyone else, and he's giving a lot to other people. I would love to be able to meet him and shake his hand and just share a carnivore meal and talk about life and diet and health and whatever it is you guys would like to talk about. I just want to be that kind of person, and I want you guys to feel like you get to be a part of things with me, and like we're all a big family and community. That's what I want. That's my why. So when I go to an event and there's food and someone's trying to convince me to eat, this happens from time to time, especially at work when there's work related events and there's food. Someone's trying to convince you to eat something, or they ask if you want something. It would be very easy to say yes and just give into it. And I don't really have cravings that much anymore, so it's not like that's an issue, but it would just in that moment be very easy to just go back to old habits and just eat whatever's there. And I don't do that because my why is more powerful than my in the moment. There is no potato or cupcake or pasta or anything in the world that can possibly be good enough to take away my ability to be a husband to my wife and be a dad to my kids and be somebody that hopefully all of you can take some inspiration from, just hearing my story and feeling like we can be partners in a community and do this together. There is no food in the world good enough to be worth more than my wife, my hopefully future kids, or my friendship with all of you. And one of the biggest reasons that I do this video series and be transparent with you guys is because it keeps me accountable to know that you're watching, and it makes it that much more important, and it makes my why that much stronger, which makes making the right decisions a lot easier. So I owe a lot to the fact that you guys watch my channel and you try my recipes and you comment and you share and you just support me in what it is I do, because it makes what I do a lot easier. So I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that this is in some way helpful. I know I'm rambling and probably just kind of going off on my own headspace here, but maybe you guys can relate to some of what I said, and I hope it means something to you guys. Go check out the link below if you're interested in getting a t-shirt or something and just repping the Chris Cooking Nashville channel and the brand, and there's a lot more really cool stuff coming I'm working on. But in the meantime, if you want to jump in and be kind of a part of that, that's a cool way to do it, and I appreciate that. Like I said, if any of my stuff seems like cool and something that you think should be out there, send it to anyone else that you think may be interested, including other people in the carnivore and keto community. Because if you message somebody like that, they get a lot of spam. They may or may not know that what I'm doing is here. But if fans of theirs that they interact with are like, hey, have you heard of this guy over here, Chris Cooking Nashville? If they see that kind of stuff, it just helps them to recognize, oh, that thing that maybe is out there, that's not actually spam, that's a real person, because we have to fight with this digitally every day. And the more the more of these people that, you know, I interact with, the more I get the inspiration to do new things. And I have a whole concept for things that I'd love to do with other people in the keto and carnivore community that are, you know, YouTube channels and people that do this kind of stuff. I have this cool concept of things that I'd like to do where I actually work with each of them on a recipe, and then dedicate a recipe to all of these people that are super important in this community. And so I'm just, you know, I've got cool ideas, and you guys are the ones that keep fueling those dreams and those ideas, because it's really you guys that make the engine run. So I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me in my studio. I love you guys, and I hope that this has meant something and that you will stick around and watch as we do a whole lot more of this. So this is Chris Cook in Nashville. Eat your meat, love your life. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.